This is Tech 101, your essential guide to understanding the technologies shaping our world, translating complex innovation into a practical knowledge you can use with confidence. Oh, with confidence, Miss Jackie. I think this is our third episode.
It is. Yes.
My
Wow.
goodness. Cheers. Cheers, people. This is our third episode, and we are planning to publish first week of April. Tech 101 together with AI 101. So please do listen to our four podcasts with Miss Jackie, soon available. Tech 101 and AI 101. You can watch us live every Friday.
Yes.
Thank God it's Friday.
Nice end to a week,
And
right?
yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And of course, our coaching one coming next month. And you can watch us live every Saturday. Sunday. Oh,
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah. Yep.
We're live with Miss Jackie, Coaching 101. And of course, our Bible Verses 101 available wherever you listen your podcasts. So, Miss Jackie, what is Bible Verses 101 and Coaching 101?
Those are on Saturdays. So, yeah, I like those too. Those are fun.
Yes, those are fun. Please do listen to us because we empower your Saturday, Saturday evening.
Right.
Well, while Tech 101 and AI 101 empower you Friday afternoon. So, Miss Jackie, what will be our topic for today on Tech 101?
Yeah. So, today I chose about communication technology from telegraph to telephone. So, it's kind of interesting. Remember when you could reach someone instantly and everyone actually survived?
Yes, he
Right.
survived. No
Right.
faster, no gossiping.
Exactly. Yeah, and like the then versus now, then we had letters, we had telegraph switchboards, but
Telegram.
now we have instant messaging,
Oh
video
my
calls,
goodness.
things like
Mm-hmm.
that, read receipts. So it's very interesting what what what's then and now, right? And to look
Mm-hmm.
at that. Yep.
That's why telegraph is already obsolete. My
Right.
goodness. What do you think will be the next obsolete, Miss Jackie?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the landline. That may be obsolete.
Landline, yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
I think so. I don't think many people have a landline anymore. So yeah.
How about TV? What do you think? It will be obsolete sooner or later?
I don't. Yeah, it may be. Although unless they improve television, like remember Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when he had all
Mm-hmm.
those inventions and he had the television where it had the you could smell and you could do all kinds of things with it. I don't know if you remember
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah, that came
Mm-hmm.
out in the 70s. So some of those things were ahead of their time, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they can make a TV where you can smell it too, like especially if you're watching like the Food Network, right? Yeah,
I like that
yeah,
idea. Just you smell it and then ooh, it goes to your brain. Okay,
yeah.
I'm watching Food 101 live. Hmm?
Right,
Oh my
exactly.
goodness. Interesting Tech 101. So, Miss
Yeah.
Jackie, the telegraph did not just speed up mail, it fundamentally changed our relationship with distance and time. What is a powerful historical example of how the annihilation what the word annihilation of space and time altered politics, business, or journalism?
Oh, right. So, the telegraph was the main form of communication. That's how people were able to communicate with each other and get information across, right? But it was
Mm-hmm.
slow. It was very slow.
Very slow, yeah.
Yeah, and so we look at even when the telegraph was around during the Titanic, right?
Yes.
When did that sink in 1912, right? So even then, they had to send out a telegraph in order to say we hit an iceberg, right? And there was a ship nearby, but they had their telegraph system off, so they didn't know what was going on. So it's just so important to see how we've evolved since then. And yeah, so it's very interesting. But yeah, it took a while for communication to get there. But again, people survived. They
Yes.
didn't, because they you only know what you have, right? Yeah.
Yes. So probably if we're living at that time and we know already our technologies today, we are for sure we will get bored, right? What
Hmm.
is so slow? Oh my goodness! Even your internet is like, oh, just a little bit slow. Is that you're complaining? Oh, why my internet is complaining, comparing before like 80s. You dialed the modem with like that for
Right.
10 minutes, right? Then
Right.
now that we are on the magic of technology, we are complaining more if our internet is just slow a little bit or disconnected, just like a while ago.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's so
But
true.
yes, but comparing before is like we are too slow. But I think even now we're slow, right?
Right.
Because when
Yeah.
the technology will come, for sure it may make more faster. Just like speed is
Yes.
faster than light. Imagine.
Right. Absolutely. Right. We think about even like education, how technology and communication has changed education. When online courses have actually been around since the 19 oh no, or even earlier than that. I think someone's probably going to correct me, but I think it's been around since the 1930s or 1940s, but it was correspondence. So you actually had to mail in your like all of your assignments and things like that. Then they went to video courses, video correspondence, where you would watch a video and then you would still have to mail in your information. Now there's online learning, like what I teach. I teach online classes, and you can log in an instant, but there's still problems, right? Technology can still cause problems. The other day, I couldn't get into my faculty portal and get into my class at all, and I couldn't view anything. So, like what you experienced earlier, you just never
Yes,
know. It's
you
never
never
perfect.
know.
Yeah, technology is never going to be a perfect thing. So, even though we look at improvements like being able to call 911 in an emergency where we couldn't do that before, and have someone across the world that we can communicate with, we couldn't do that before, right? And
Yes.
yeah, and businesses being able to have offices all around the world, and you can have people be in meetings that are in Dubai and I'm here in the United States, right? And we can have meetings together. That couldn't happen, years ago, but or decades ago even. But now it's improved. But we have to know the limitations of technology and communication, and what it can and can't do, and that we can't depend upon it completely, because
Hmm.
it's just not possible, because it things breaks, things don't work, and we just have to be prepared for that
Be
as well.
prepared and be amazed of the technology that will come in our next generation. And Miss Jackie, the next thing that will obsolete will be the snail mail, right? Nobody's
Yes.
using anymore snail mail. It's
Right.
just like you're
I
weird. Why are you doing that? We have email,
Exactly.
we have messenger, we have anything that instant you can click. Then
Right.
you have the message.
Exactly. I just wonder if like the postal service
Postal, yes.
will
Will
cease to
survive.
exist. Yeah, the United
Mm-hmm.
States Postal Service has been around since what, the 1800s or something like that, when they first
Mm-hmm.
started delivering mail. And so, yeah, I wonder. I mean, I think there will still be some aspects of it that will still be around, like, delivering care packages to people. And there's going to be some instances where you do need to use something like that. But I think the traditional mailing letters part is probably, yeah, probably not around much,
Mm-hmm.
because most of the time you can get digital types of materials and everything like that. You know.
Mm-hmm. And one thing, Miss Jackie, the camera, right? Kodak,
Oh,
Fuji. Other
yes.
80s, they are so famous, like 90s. I'm like, okay, they have this roll films, and then you have this device that you're gonna click and then put the film inside, and then you will
Mm-hmm.
develop. And then when the smartphone came, voila, they disappear.
Right. What's funny about that is, remember when the Polaroid camera was out and you could actually
Mm-hmm.
get an instant, it wasn't the greatest, but you could get an instant printout, right, on the Polaroid
Yes.
film. And
Yes.
then they went to Kodak, well, Kodak was
Kodak.
around
Yes.
even then, but then Kodak, I remember do you remember those instant cameras where you could
Mm-hmm.
and they were just like little plastic ones, and you could actually use those little plastic, one-time cameras, and that, but you still have to take it down to get it. You get all the film. Uh, no, what do they call it? I was gonna say published, but that's not right. To get it. What do they
Yeah,
call that?
you will go to the a machine who develop
Right, develop it. Yeah. So you'd
develop
have to
yeah to
like,
develop it.
yeah, you'd have to go to like Walgreens or somewhere
Mm-hmm.
to get it developed. And then you'd have to wait a few days to get it developed. And who knows if those pictures turned out great. But now you're right, with the phone, in an
The
instant, you're like,
phone. Oh
no,
my
I don't like that
goodness.
picture. I'm going to retake it. I do that a lot, especially
Yes,
selfies. I'm like, I don't like that one.
instant instant you can see the outcome, but before, like, it takes 2 days 3 days before they develop.
Hmm.
Now it's instant. So
Right.
imagine those Polaroid Kodak, and they just disappear in one year because of a smartphone.
Right.
Now they're gone. So those are the obsolete tech that for sure we miss them, but they are no longer used for us. They're obsolete.
Right.
And thank you
Yeah.
for the innovation. Oh.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I think though the Polaroid camera ended up coming back around. I think it became popular again last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they have like a version of it now. So who knows? I mean, maybe some of these companies will come back around in the future. So yeah, it's hard to tell. I remember
Yes.
those disposable cameras were really popular for parties and weddings and things like that, because you could just
Mm-hmm.
put them on everybody's table or something like that and be like, here, take pictures, and then just give them back to the bride and groom, and then they could, go and develop them and everything. So yeah, very interesting. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows, maybe they'll come back around, maybe they'll
Yes.
be smaller, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure
They,
how. Who knows, somebody will invent
yes.
something.
I think if they come back, they need to better than smartphone,
I think
right?
so. Yeah,
Yes.
i
If you
i
cannot
agree.
beat a smartphone, they will fail for sure. We
Right.
are not judging them because a smartphone is something that technology people loves because of the convenience. But
Right.
if your product is inconvenient, who cares of your product, even it's like smallest or the brightest or whatever what is inside? If you did not meet the convenience of people around us, they don't like the product itself,
Right,
right?
that's so true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the smartphone, it's amazing because it's not just a communication device, right? It can do so
Mm-hmm.
much more. So it takes all these different elements that used to be separate, right? And it puts it all together.
Yes,
So yeah, so
all
it's
in
really
one.
interesting. Yeah, you can do video conferencing, you can talk on the phone, you can text, you can, send people things. It's an all-in-one type of thing. But yeah, it's also, they say it's a smartphone, but I wonder if it's made us less smart
Less dumb.
sometimes. Yeah. A little bit lazy, maybe a little bit lazy in some aspects. I know
I
I've
think
kind of
so.
fallen for that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because of the multitasking of our smartphone, we can do in one time 5 items. Just like while you are texting, you are listening to music or a podcast, or you're watching or whatever. Like
Right.
five in one. Imagine. So if you can beat a smartphone from your product itself, well, you deserve. You deserve to be, well,
Yeah.
recognized for sure.
Right.
And we're hoping for that our next generation will have a better more like this, right? Just like comparing the modem before, when you are processing to connect with the internet, there's a lot of procedure. You need a telephone, a modem, and then you need to dial, and then after dialing, you make sure that nobody will hang up the phone because you will be disconnected.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. You couldn't do
Now,
both at the same time. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. Now, no more. Directly Wi-Fi. Hmm.
Right. It's
Yes.
amazing.
It's totally amazing what the technology can do to our lives. So, Miss
Right.
Jackie, let's talk about our main topic. The telegraph required a new class of skilled workers, operators who spoke in a code. Is it like Morse code? How does this create a distinct insular culture, and what is the loss when the telephone made the specialized linguistic layer obsolete? All
Mm.
after telegraph and then telephone, right?
Right.
Mm.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think with telegraph, yeah, I agree. I think the telegraph, you had to definitely have a skill. If you look back on and just go back in history and see there, I think the History Channel even did something like this about telecommunications, and they talk about how things have changed over the centuries, right, and even over the decades. But I just there's this period drama that I really like watching, and it's called When Calls the Heart. It's on Hallmark Channel,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes place in the early 1900s. So they had they had the telephone then, but you had to have a switchboard operator that
Yes.
had to do that.
Should
And then in
the
order
one they
to
hook, right? They hook
right,
from one,
exactly,
two, three.
to right. And right before that, before they all got the telephone and they got the switchboard, they had the telegraph. And so earlier on in the season, they show that so I think that they're like in the late 1800s, I think probably like or maybe like early 1900s, like 1900, 1901, something like that, because even you'll notice even like the cars were different too. They didn't have the and I know a lot about cars because my grandfather had antique cars, so I can kind of tell based upon different factors what era they're depicting. But it was very interesting to see that, like how they had to deliver the telegraph and someone had to write it shorthand, right? They couldn't write it longhand. You had to be able to understand what it said. And it's true that also the Morse code, right? Being able to understand that, and that was where that was different too. But yeah, it was very interesting to see that. And then you had to have someone at the switchboard that could connect the phone lines to from one to the other. It wasn't automatic; it had to be manual at the switchboard. So
Yes.
yeah, very interesting. Yeah.
And the same as Jackie, the telegraph faded, but its DNA is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, eh? What are the most
Right.
important conceptual or infrastructural legacy that the telegraph that underpin our digital world, like binary code, global cabling, and the very idea of network message? Yes, thank for that, right?
Yes. Right. I think so. Yeah. And I think, even if you look at the telegraph and what it did at that time and how powerful it was, right, with
Mm-hmm.
communication, you had to have a subject, who it was going to, right? And then you have to have the body
Yes,
of what you were
a
communicating. Well,
pattern.
that's what email is, right? We have to we had
Yes.
to we have to know who it's going to, like an email address. We put a subject line in there, and then we do the body of the email. Well, that's what a telegraph was. Essentially, you couldn't just say, here, send this out, and then not know who it was going to or where it was going and what the content of it was. So I think the telegraph was the easy, or not easy, but a early sign of email, I think. Yeah.
Hmm. It's so happened that we modified it to be a better inconvenience for everybody.
Right.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Yep.
that modification make us, well, we can access fast, we can do it fast, and we can do it anywhere, anywhere, anytime we want, right?
Right.
By doing
Exactly.
email. But if we use the telegraph, yes, you have a specific time. What you have, you need to do some procedure to do it, not just like
Mhm.
now.
Right.
Convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Instant communication, right? Yeah, instead of waiting.
instant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we are hoping people for our next generation, we invent something that make our generation proud. What do you think, Miss Jackie? What makes invention that our generation will be proud?
Ooh, I think you were talking before about maybe other planets that humans can live on and things like that, right? So being
Mm-hmm.
able to communicate beyond Earth and be able
Also,
to
yes.
communicate, yeah, in our solar system. So it reminds me, there's this one movie that came out. I don't remember how long ago, but it was a Disney Pixar movie, and it was called Wally. Do you remember that movie,
Yes,
Wally?
Wally. I love it. My kids
It
love
was
it.
yeah,
Wally.
it's so cute because, and I love
Hmm.
watching it sometimes because it was just so neat how they were showing that Earth became just so polluted that they couldn't
Junk.
live
Yeah.
there anymore. So they're like, okay, put everybody on this, this. It looked like a floating cruise ship, is what it reminded me of. So they're like telling everybody, "Hey, go on this, and we won't have to be on there very long." And then in the movie, they talk about how they show how so much time had gone by because they didn't really those robots like Wally were trying to clean up, but they all ended up breaking down, right? And nobody knew that. So they ended up being there for a long time. But it was very interesting to see how all that technology and all those instant things that they had, like having their drink right there in their little their little cup, and yeah, and
Hmm.
they weren't walking around. They weren't. They had all the different great things to be able to stay active, but a lot of the people in that movie were not active, and then their bones got soft, and they, yeah, they didn't, they weren't active. So it was very
Hmm.
interesting to see that. So I think I can see something like that maybe happening in the future where we can have those types of like spaceships that look like floating cruise ships, right? And be like, hey,
Hmm.
we're gonna go take you out here, and instead of taking you out in the water, take you out in space, and you can
Yes.
communicate, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And there's a technology out there outside our solar system broadcasting where we are, that
Mm-hmm.
who knows that we will be discovered by an alien just saying that we are on this part of the universe of the solar system of the Milky Way galaxy, blah blah blah, with the different languages on Earth. So
Right.
it's amazing that the technology beyond our limits that make us well be proud of it. Who knows, we will discovered by what another alien from Milky Way, or not Milky Way, Andromeda galaxy,
Yeah,
right?
maybe. Right.
Yes,
And then we
let's
can go there
communicate.
in like a flash of an eye, right? And instead of it, I know,
Oh,
instead of
you're
it
there.
taking, yeah, instead of it taking a long time, even, the space exploration, right?
Mhm.
Hopefully, that can improve too. Yeah, I think it will. I think people like
It
Elon
takes
Musk,
time.
whether
Yes.
people like him or not, he's
Hmm.
making great
Big
strides
leap.
with space exploration.
Baby
Yeah.
step. Mr. Elon Musk doing the baby step. We need
Right.
someone to start, and then for
Hmm.
sure, our fellow like Elon Musk will be like him, and then I will continue this.
Right.
I'll
And I
I'll
think there
be
could be another
better.
Elon Musk. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. So I think there's going to be a future. I mean, there's,
Elon Musk.
everyone's
Mm-hmm.
unique, but I think there will be someone that will be similar maybe to what he's doing, or we'll take it to the next level. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
take us beyond that because, there's only so much one person can do. So I think it's good to have those people that he can mentor, right? And he can mentor the next generation and say, okay, you're going to take over this in some way, shape, or form, or you're going to take it to the next level. So I think that's where that mentorship comes in, and it's so important. Yep.
Yes, definitely. People, you are listening to Tech 101, where Miss Jackie and I talking about the telegraph. So, the legacy
Mhm.
of telegraph, and looking back at this pivotal century of connection, what is the most poignant lesson or warning that telegraph to telephone story hold us for as we navigate the next great shift in communication technology?
Mm. I think one thing that stands out to me that's important is that the speed of communication
Mm-hmm.
didn't just change communication itself, but it changed the way we communicate and the tone of our communication. So I think as we look to communication and see how it continues to evolve and improve, I think not only do we need to look at how fast we're communicating, but how we're communicating to each other as well, and that we don't lose that human connection in all of it. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. People, these serve as our pattern to modify it, to make it better, to make it more convenience for us. Because if we, if this product is convenience to us, it totally it will click to us. You will use it. We will will be more modified again for our next generations. Who knows? Email will be obsolete sooner or later. Like, what do you think will be
Mm.
the next modification of email?
Oh, I don't.
Your
That's a good
words, right?
question.
Yes, or your
Yeah.
words. Instead of email, you just say it and then, all
And
right?
then it goes off, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it
I.
was. What do
Yeah.
you think?
It might
Tech
be.
101.
Yeah.
What will be the next of email?
Hmm.
Just like telegraph to telephone, email to what? Vanishing your
Hmm.
words. Just
Right.
saying your
Yeah.
words, not by typing. Just say it.
Right.
Mm.
Because I think people can talk faster than they can type. So maybe, yeah, that might be the next best thing. Yeah.
Or instead of emailing by typing, or is it the same with recording?
Yeah, you
Right?
can do a recording. Yeah. And then, so what we would have to do is just like with AI, we would have to have more data, right? So we'd have to have the data centers to handle that because voice recording and stuff like that take more data than email. So something to keep in mind. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, people. Telegraph collapsed geography into dots and dashes. The telephone restored voice, but it still stripped away a gesture and presence and shared space. Its step is toward reduced friction while quietly removing layers of meaning. And thank you for those technology because technology makes our lives easier.
Yes.
So, Miss Jackie, would you like to plug in something?
Sure. If anyone wants to follow my podcast and listen, it's called Designing with Love, and it's available wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Jackie Pellegrin because if you support her, more and more empowering advocacy like this to rise. And please do listen to our 4 podcasts, Tech 101 and AI 101, available on live first on all social medias, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Please do watch us, listen to our live episode, and sooner or later we will publish on any platform you are listening your podcast, and of course our Bible verses 101 and coaching 101, people, as well, will be published next month. So, Miss Jackie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for joining and keep learning.
Maricam people, see you soon.